Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Steve Goodwin from Goodwin Boxing, and he's a promoter, as I just said. But yes, he's got 3 shows penciled in for September. The first one's on the 9th of September at York Hall. And yes, what a card. We've got Ross McGuigan making his comeback I do believe he's now moved down to light heavyweight, hasn't he?
That's correct. Yeah. He's getting his weight down. He's coming back to try and find titles at light heavyweight.
Because of course we did see him fight last year. He fought Vidal Riley and Lewis Oakford earlier this year.
Yeah, both of them were a bit too good for him, and he's decided that he's in the wrong weight category, so he's going to drop down.
Do you agree with him doing that?
If he can make the weight safely, yeah. I mean, it's from his point of view, he's come up short against the cruiserweight. So, if he's at his level there. So if he can get down to make the weight at light heavy, he'll be a big light heavy. So it'll give him a chance to maybe crack through on titles.
And because on BoxRec it doesn't say his opponent. Have you got an opponent for him?
No, not yet. Not yet. We haven't sorted that out yet for him because it's a difficult weight category, and we've been really busy on the major show, which is the 23rd. That's the big show, and so we're just sort of sorting out. Well, we've got most of the other shows together, but it's the 23rd we've been concentrating on because that's the big show, and the other ones are the feeder shows.
Yeah, we'll get onto that one in a minute because that's an amazing show. That one.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant.
But,
so Ross is back out with a lot of other prospects. There's no title fights on the 9th show. It's pretty much a development show for a lot of the prospects coming through.
But you've got Qasim Kania, who's making his debut against the Road Warrior Casey Bradnam.
Yeah, no, he's a good. I mean, Qasim Kiani is a very, very talented fighter, and he's going to go big places. So he signed with us a few weeks ago, and it'll be his debut. But he's definitely one to watch. And
Casey Bradnam's one of your Road Warriors, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He's Casey's great. Gives everybody a good fight, and he's a good test. He's a really good test for everybody.
And on his day, he can fight.
For sure, he's a proper fighter. He's not one of those guys that covers up to lose. He comes in as a proper go. So he's a decent fighter, Casey.
That should be a good fight.
It will be. It's a good test for Qasim, and for Casey, it's a good fight for him as well because he'll have a go, and it's just a good fight for both.
And you've also got Bilal Faaz v Jordan Granham. I think you signed Bilal pretty recently, didn't you?
Yeah, very, very much so. Yeah, he's one of our recent signings, and he was a top-class amateur but had problems getting residency in the UK, so couldn't get a permit to box. He turned over quite late. He's not had the best start to the career, but we're going to try and move him fast and get him into titles back end of this year, early next year.
So a southern area.
Yeah, exactly that.
And of course, you've also got Timon Douglas v Nathan Lee.
Yeah, Timon's great. He's very talented, and again, he's turned pro quite late. We need to move him into southern area contention early 2024, and he'll be a force to be reckoned with at light heavyweight for sure.
Because he beat Dylan, didn't he? Dylan, what's his surname? Forgot his surname.
Dylan Courtney.
Yeah.
Yeah, Timon's really good. He's way above average. And it's a shame he didn't turn over a bit earlier, but he's a good fighter.
And Nathan Lee, I've seen him fight before. He comes for a go.
Yeah, he's Mickey Elliott's fighter. Mickey Elliott manages him, and no, he'll be a good test for Timon. But Timon's got to be moving up now, and early 24 titles for him, definitely.
And you've also got Fred Secler v Paul Cummings.
Yeah, no, Fred's recently signed with us, and he hasn't had a lot of experience yet, so he's developing. And Paul Cummings is a real good war horse. So that's a good test for all the up and coming kids.
Of course, Paul Cummings did beat one of your, I think, Liam Wiseman on your show last year.
Liam was really a really good amateur, and but he really just came out with his hands down, and you can't do that in pro boxing. And Paul took the opportunity and nailed him, and it was just a shame for Liam. But yeah, it was Paul is capable on his day of springing an upset.
But that should be a good fight. You've also got Christoph v Nabil Ahmed.
Yeah, so Christoph's 2-1, two wins, one draw. And these developing fighters, they're going through the motions of learning their trade so we can build them towards fighters. And Christoph is the same in his weight category.
He's moving down.
Yeah, he's moving down to like the super bantamweight, and you get title fights a lot quicker in super bantamweight. So he'll just have probably 2 or 3 more, and then we'll move him into title contention.
Of course, you've got Costin Williams, new signing as well against CJ
New
Woods.
He's trained by Terry Coulter, great trainer. Again, he's turned pro. He's sort of he's aging a bit, but like fine wine. But we do need to get a move on with him as well. And titles again for him in 24. Some fighters that are slightly older, you've got to move them quicker. So you've got to be moved quicker. The younger ones you can take more time with. So it's a mixture. But with him, we've got to get a move on with him as well.
What about Harley Turner? Because he's got Charlie Sheldon, who's...
Yeah, I mean, Harley's young. Harley's 18, I think. 18, 19 from memory. He's making his debut, so he's got lots of time on his hands. So we don't have to rush him. It's a good first fight for him with Charlie Sheldon. And Harley's going to be very, very good in time. And we just got to develop him at the right pace.
And of course, you've got Ernest fighting Michael Mooney.
Doing his voice check. He's with Xavier Miller IQ Gym, just turned professional with us. Again, he's an all-action fighter, come-forward fighter, and I expect him to make good waves in the scene. And Michael's we know what Michael Mooney is. He's a war horse that gives everybody a good fight and a good test. And Ernest, I expect to win that fight, but he's going to be a fighter we work and develop with. And again, we got a lot of very, very good, talented, up-and-coming fighters on this show.
Yeah, mainly your new signings are on that show.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, the ninth is basically our early ones in development. Then we've got the 23rd is a big one, and the later one in the month is a bit more of a mixture. So it's a bit of spread.
Well, moving on to the 23rd, stacked. So make sure you get there right from the beginning.
For sure.
Because you don't want to miss one of those fights.
No, it's an unbelievable. It's the best show that I've been involved in 13 years. It's better than most TV cards, without a doubt.
I thought, when you put the show on last year, July 23rd, I thought you couldn't beat that. Then you beat it on the 11th of March, and I was like, there's no way of beating that. And then you just top it with... Yeah,
this is unbelievable. It's unbelievable show. It's the best show ever I've ever done.
You've got Tyler Chambers making... Is it his debut, isn't it?
Yeah, so we got 3 non-10-round fights and 7 10-round fights. Tyler's trained by John Cole in Kent, really good prospect. So he gets his debut on a really big show. And I wanted to put him on because John Cole's been a long-standing supporter of us. And for me, I wanted to give Tyler the opportunity of boxing on this show. So he's going to make his debut.
And you've also got Billy Stabbury v Paul Cummings.
Billy Stabbury is the new superstar down. He's from Bideford in Devon. And we built Brad Pauls up down there, and Billy Stabbury is the next one. Billy's going to be a top prospect. Well, we're building gradually. He spends half his time boxing down in the south of England and some of the time in London. And Billy, we wanted to give Billy the opportunity because, bearing in mind he's from the same part of the world as Brad Pauls, it enables a lot of his supporters will want to come and see Brad fight. So therefore, it helps his ticket sales. So he's bringing a big crowd up from Devon.
And then you've got George Hennon making his comeback against Chisanga. Is that what you said? Yeah,
Mwenya Chisanga. George, unfortunately, we had him in. He was building towards titles. He fought Ben Fields in an English eliminator, and a disaster happened to him in round 1. I don't think he was right that day. I don't think he made the weight correctly. And I think they'll go back now. We'll have this fight. I think he'll show what he's made of here, and then we can move back into title contention again.
Like look at the southern area.
Yeah. Well, southern area, maybe towards the English. I think he's good enough to fight for an English. Depends on how the land falls, who's got the titles, because obviously the southern area is being fought for on the same card. So we'll see what happens with that.
Oh, is that the Aaron Prosper fight?
Yeah, against Yasser Al-Gaina. That's the southern area one, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get onto that one in a minute, but you've got Joke Amici v Andre Santo. That's a non-title fight, I do believe.
Yeah, both of them wanted to put themselves in contention for an area. They're both in their sort of early to mid-30s. So they thought the idea was they would do a 10-rounder. The winner will
Oh,
move
because they want to move quick.
quick. Yeah, exactly. So they're going to move quick. Even the loser will probably get a title shot because you just need to do a 10-rounder and it'll put them in the mix. So, yeah, the idea was it's the fastest way to get both of them into title contention.
Who's the home fighter? As I thought you work with both.
Yeah, but they'll spin a coin.
What? So they'll spin a coin for whoever gets to walk out second.
Yeah, yeah.
That's yeah, that's fair enough, and should be a good fight. I mean, Jokes coming off a win against Ricky Starkey.
Yeah,
and Andre's coming off a win against Nabil, I think.
Yeah, so look, generally, I don't know who's going to win that fight, but it's the right fight for both. And it's all about we have to think of ways for the older fighters to develop them quicker. And this is going to be a good learning fight for both, and it'll put them in great stead for title fights. And that's what we're aiming for both of them after this fight.
Of course, Andre's got one defeat to Lewis Frimpong, but I think that was the weight above.
That was, he went up in weight because his opponent pulled out on the week. And, you know, he took that fight, but he was too small for Lewis. But that was the only way he was going to get a fight that time. So he took the chance.
And it was a good fight.
It was a good fight. Full credit to him. And but, I mean, this is a very, very level fight, but it just makes sense for both of them. And you'll see both of them should have title fights in the next 6 months after this fight.
100%. So would they look at Peter Merger?
Yeah, Peter Merger, although Peter Merger and, you know, some of them, I mean, Andre could even fight at bantamweight. So, you know,
he could cut down to bantam.
He could cut down to bantam, yeah. So between the two of them, we want to move them up, but it depends on who's got titles at what time. But yeah, this has definitely put them in the mix for sure.
100%. And of course, you've got Yashir v Aaron Prosper for the Southern Area super lightweight title. Of course, Dennis Dakayev has vacated that now because he fought Idris, then he fought Tom.
Yeah, now he's got on the same card. He's got the English title shot. So
we'll talk about that one in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Yasser Al-Gainer, we used to manage him. He came back. We signed him recently. We delivered him this title fight. It's a brilliant fight. I mean, I fancy Yasser, but it's not an easy fight. I mean, Aaron Prosper's 11-0, undefeated. It's a proper fight.
And he stopped Tom in the first round.
He did. He stopped Tom in the first, and Tom now fights Campbell Hatton, doesn't he?
That's going to be interesting. That one.
He'll give Hatton a bit to think about. I think. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's. I mean, look, he caught Tom early and got rid of him early, but that's boxing. It can happen. But yeah, I mean, it's. Yasser Al-Gainer is a different animal to Tom. He's a slick boxer, fast hands. You know, he's got plenty of amateur experience.
Should be a good one, this one, though.
Yeah, great fight.
Another one you can toss the coin with.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, we think Yasser's got the edge. But yeah, it's a really, really good fight. It's a really good fight.
Mm-hmm. And you've also got William Webber v Adrian Redmond. William Webber, 11 wins, 1 defeat. And Adrian Redmond's 8-0. And I do believe that's an English title eliminator, that one.
It's a final eliminator. The winner gets a shot at it. It's a final eliminator. So it's
that's
great.
Big.
Yeah, William, we looked after. He was with Matchroom on his early part of his career, but he came to us after he lost. And we built him. And again, it's a great fight, but we think the advantage lies with William in the fight.
Because William's your fighter, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He is, yeah. We wouldn't make the fight. Max Lovell. He beat Max Lovell, but we wouldn't make the fight if we didn't think he had the advantage.
Mm-hmm. And with that fight with Max, do you think it was right for him not to defend his title and just push on?
Well, it was right. I made that decision. He didn't. We were going to get given a mandatory that I didn't want the fight, and I therefore. It's part of smart management is knowing which fights to take and which fights not to take. So I told him we weren't going to take it. So
you obviously think this is the right fight for him at the right time.
Correct.
And I think the English champion's Mark Jeffers now.
Yeah, who beat Zach Chelly in his last fight. So
they're not rematching, do you know?
No idea. No idea. We just want to get ourselves in a position where we're mandatory for that title. And of
course, if William does win, I mean, wouldn't that be on TV, or would you try and get it on your show? As you've got
potentially on TV with any luck, but a lot can change. Mark Jeffers might move on to something else. We don't know yet, but I just want to get him in the position where we can make.
But the English would be next for him if he wins.
Yeah, we'd think so, but it wouldn't be straight away because Jeffers will be entitled to a voluntary first, and then down the line next year he'll get the mandatory spot if he wins. That's the plan.
It should be another good fight, and if you've got Lauren Parker fighting for the European Super Flyweight title. I'm not going to try and pronounce her opponent's name because we'll be here all day otherwise.
Yeah, I'll do it for you. Giuseppina Di Stefano.
Yes, we'll go on that.
No, I mean, again, Lauren, we look after, and she's got a big opportunity here. And she's probably wins this. She's probably 2 fights away from a world title, if not 1 fight. So this will really put her in line for a really big fight. So we're doing it at home. We didn't really want to go to Italy.
Due to some robberies we saw the other weekend.
Well, that can happen. So we'll avoid that and we'll do it at home. So we'll stage it in the UK. Lauren's got a lot of support and sponsorship backing her. So it's all going to be happening, and hopefully we'll see Lauren crown European champion on the 23rd.
Do you think she would try and she could fight like Lauren Price and Caroline Dubois like in the future or something?
They're too big. They're the wrong weight category.
Oh, sorry.
No, so Shannon Ryan is one that we would target.
Shannon Ryan.
Yeah, but there's fighters there that we fancy ourselves, but we want to get ourselves into a good position and have something to bargain with first, and that's what this is about.
I thought she already had a title as well, hasn't she?
No, she's got the IBO Intercontinental, but the European is a much bigger title than that. So that
it gets her world ranking up.
Yeah, if we get these 2 fights down, we're really in a good position if we win this.
And then you've got Lewis Frimpong fighting for the English featherweight title against Michael Rebletzer.
Yeah,
great fight.
I mean, look, Michael's former English champion. Lewis is up and coming. He
beat Conor Adaway last time out.
Great fight, and Conor Adaway's a good fighter. And no, I expect to see Lewis. I think Lewis can win this. It's on paper, it's a very close fight, but I'm hopeful Lewis can win this and go on to bigger things. That's the plan.
Should be a good fight, that one though.
For sure. Well, they're all good fights. All of these.
I mean, I can say for every fight, that can steal the show, that can steal the show, and that can steal the show.
100%.
And you've got Dennis Judakayev v Sajid Abid. I do believe you manage both of them as well.
Yeah, I've managed to fight for both. They both get the opportunity of an English title shot, and it's hard to call. I'm not going to call it. It's a brilliant fight between 2 brilliant boxers, and the winner's going to go on and have possibly get a TV fight and break through on TV. It's just a brilliant fight for both. So it's great.
Who's headlining?
There's no real headline because there's so many fights. I mean, it's really, you've got 3 English titles and a European title. They're all co-headliners.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be hard to pick who's main event, isn't it?
Yeah. There's not really going to be a main event. There's probably 4 main events, 5 main events on this show. It's that good. It's that good a show.
I can't wait. This show's going to be really good. And with Dennis and Shajid, how long have you worked with like both of them for? 5 years
each.
So you've been with both of them for pretty much.
No, all their careers. Yeah, but it's the right fight for both. I can't not give one the opportunity because I happen to manage the other. I prefer not to put my fighters together. But if you have to and it's the right fight for them, it's the right thing to do. So that's what we've done in this instance.
For you, is it hard to watch both fighters knowing that one of them are more than likely, because there's more likely going to be a loser than it is like a draw? And I
don't like it. I don't like it.
So you're just there, just like.
Yeah, I don't like it. I really, really don't like it. I like to watch Lauren's fight. That's great. Because
like Lewis and William, and Yashir, is it? Yeah,
exactly. That's okay because but not. I don't like the other ones, but you have to do the right thing by the fighters, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a good fight. Just put it that way. And because Dennis and Sajid both beat Tom Ansell.
Yes.
And I think that Mikey Saki Sajid beat earlier this year as well.
Right, that's it. Yeah, I mean they're both really good fighters.
They're coming off 2 good wins.
Yeah, I can't call it. I can't call it.
Neither.
Yeah, great fight.
And you've got the middleweight English title, which everyone's sort of chasing at that domestic scene, but you've got it on your show. You've got Mitchell Frearson, nine wins, no defeats with 1 draw. Then you've got Brad Pauls, another opportunity after his defeat to Denny, but he did win in Plymouth, I do believe, and now he's back with an English title fight and fighting Mitch Frearson, who you manage both again, but it's
the right fight for both. And like Mitchell's bypassed the southern area straight for the English.
I when I saw that, I was a bit surprised because only because that he beat Balraj Singh, and that was an area, so I was expecting him to fight for the area, but English is even bigger, so.
But the thing was, at the area level, Aaron Sutton is the holder, and he's a very, very good fighter. And I would say that Aaron Sutton and Brad Pauls are similar level. And therefore, if you could fight Aaron Sutton or Brad Pauls, the same, I would say, the very similar level of fighter, one's for the southern area, one's for the English, you might as well fight for the English.
Yeah, you'll just go for the bigger title.
Aaron Sutton is not an easier fight. If it was, I'd have gone for the area with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it made sense. Again, it makes sense for both boys to do that fight.
What were your thoughts as Brad went to Denny? Like, what do you think went wrong for him on that fight?
Didn't turn up, didn't throw punches. That was the worst performance of his career. It was terrible.
It wasn't his night, but I'm looking forward to this fight because
but he knows it wasn't his fight. He knows that he didn't show up, and he really didn't show up. That was not the Brad Pauls that we know. But if he fights like he did against Tyler Denny, Mitchell Frearson wins the fight. So we'll see what happens. Mitchell Frearson will beat Brad if that Brad turns up, for sure. If Brad turns up fully focused, it's a great fight. But if that Brad turns up, he will lose again. And he knows that. And Mitchell Frearson's very confident. He's really improving fast. He's
got a new trainer as well, I do believe, Will Jones.
Yeah, so he's improving leaps and bounds. Mitchell's improving leaps and bounds.
Do you still work with Linus Yudofia?
Yeah, we've got a big fight coming up. Just waiting for it to be announced by from Matchroom. But yeah, a big fight coming up.
Good stuff, and hopefully he can get back in that British sort of scene. Exactly.
We've got a final eliminator for the British coming up, so he's going to be back in the mix for sure in 2000. He's just got to keep winning.
I thought he beat Bentley, but it was a close fight.
It was, but it's amazing what the difference makes between a split decision loss and a split decision win. It makes a massive difference to your career. You have to keep winning in boxing because a loss does set you back a lot. Big promoters have a big difference between if you win, they love you. If you lose, they discard you. That is just how the...
It's a bit harsh, though.
It's a horrible business, boxing. A horrible business. You don't see that. You see
if you lose one fight, people are like, "Oh, he's not what everyone's saying he is." Just after one defeat, I think it's harsh.
It is. You're right, but it's the way of the world in this sport. I'm afraid it's a shame.
It is. But before we move on to the 30th, you've also got a few fighters, of course. Jack Owen that you still work with. Jack, he's now the Southern Area Light Heavyweight Champion after beating Paul Brown by stoppage. But yes, Jack Owen. What's next for Jack, and when can we expect him back out?
Well, I spoke to Jack last week. He'll either be back out in September or November. So he's had a little break after his win, and he's just making his mind about when he wants to come back, and then we're going to discuss a plan of action.
What about with Darren Seeley?
Well, he's a heavyweight. He lost, and I don't know what's happening with Darren at the moment. To be fair, I think he's taking time out to view his options.
And who else? Do you still work with Idris? Idris Hill.
Yeah, he's ID. I call him ID. Yeah, I think he lost to
Dennis
Denikjev, and I think he's now decided. He's taking his time. I think he's decided to call it a day now.
Ah.
Sometimes it's if that's his decision, it's the right thing to do. He's had a good career, and sometimes you reach a level, and he's getting on a bit now, and sometimes you've got to know when to leave with your health intact. And if that's what he's decided, I think he has. It's it's the right decision for him.
And Paul, I think Paul Brown's retired, hasn't he, as well?
Oh, well, he had, but he's coming back again in November. He's changed his mind.
Because he can't, he doesn't want to retire on a defeat.
Exactly. Well, he did after the fight, and then boxers often do that when they lose, they retire, and then they think about it and think, no, I don't want to go out like that. So I think Paul's planning to come back in November.
And I think he was saying cruiserweight. Does he want to go up to?
Yeah, he wants to go up to. That's right. That's his. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see whether he can grow into that weight.
What about you've also Daniel Mendes?
Yeah, he was we had a big fight lined up for him in October. He's just broken his arm sparring with Daniel Dubois in Spain.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's a shame. Yeah.
So are we looking for probably next year now then?
I don't know. He only wants big fight. He wants a big fight before he finishes his career. So we'll have to see how that.
Because he's had some good Southern Area title fights, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But we'll have to see. It's a shame because he had the perfect fight in October, but he's not going to be ready for that now.
Is there any somebody that you manage who hasn't got a fight coming up?
Everybody that I manage has got a plan of action and a fight, and we're signing more fighters every week.
Yes. What about Brooklyn Tilly? Because because I thought he had a fight date, and now
he's injured, so he's had to postpone it.
But yeah, he was on the boxer tournament, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah. So he's come back. He's signed with us, and we'll build him. But he's got a lot of talent. But he just unfortunately was due to box in September, but he's injured. So we'll probably be November, December for him now.
But and then coming on to September the 30th, you've got another good show, a bit of a mixture, with the fight, sort of.
Exactly that.
But that's what we like, a bit of a mixture.
Yeah, well, exactly. You've got the baby show on the 9th, you've got the big show on the 23rd, and then you've got a sort of a bit of a mix and match between, a bit of everything on the 30th.
You've got Lewis Lights Out Oakford, good fighter.
He's back out. We're trying to build him towards titles, so this will be fight number 4.
What went wrong with that Wilson he was meant to be fighting?
Paul changed his mind and pulled out, so it was a shame.
But so have you got Lewis matched up or just not yet?
No, we're just working on it at the moment. We're just working on that.
Are we expecting 6 rounds or?
No, only going to do a 4 because he's already done a 6 rounder against Ross McGuigan, so there is no need for him to do a 6. So the plan of action is really just to do a 4 rounder on the show.
That's fair enough. You've got Tyler Marriott as well.
Yeah, no, good kid, 4-0, trained by Russ Smith, making good progress. We're just building him towards titles, and we'll get him to the 7 and 8 number, and then we'll start looking for opportunities for him.
You've also got Shocky Khan as well.
Yeah, Shocky's 5-0. Same thing with him. Build him to the 7 and 8 number.
Will he be looking for a Southern Area title or not just yet?
Not just yet. 7, get him to 7 or 8, and then we tend to look at those weights, get to 7 or 8, see where we are, and then we start to make the move for titles. I have a tried and tested formula that works, so that we just work it with every fighter and develop.
Fair enough. What are you expecting from Shocky Khan on the 30th?
He's improving with every fight. I expect him to improve again. He steps up to 6 rounds for the first time, so a good polished performance is what I'm expecting from him, and I'm sure he'll deliver it. And
it'll be good to see him fighting 6 rounds.
Exactly. He needs to step up now. He needs to step up.
And you've got Alban Jr., who's 4-0.
Yeah, he's trained by Andy Gill at the Evolve Elite Gym. He's really talented. One of the most talented fighters we've got in our books. And he's probably only he's now 2 to 3 fights away from titles. He'll be fast tracked. He's very good. He's very good.
And he's super lightweight as well.
Another one we've got. Well, he may even drop down to lightweight for titles.
You've got a stacked like super lightweight division. You do.
Yeah, I know, loads, loads. So we have to manoeuvre them about a bit.
Is that your favourite weight division, mate?
No, well, it is at the moment because we've got so many of the boxers in that way. But no, cruiserweight used to be my favourite. We used to have a lot of cruiserweight. So it's wherever we've got the fighters and we'll develop them in that. I mean, we've got good middleweights as well. So
yeah, you've got quite a few cruiserweights as well.
Yeah, no, we just keep building. Just keep building them.
Yeah,
any weight is my favourite.
You've got how do you say his name? Kohler.
Yeah, he's not managed by me, and he's off the show. He's he won't be managed by Ali at Stonebridge, but yeah, he won't be licensed in time, so he's come off. He'd be off the show. They pulled him out today.
Oh, sorry. Will Dylan? Do you manage Dylan?
Yeah, I manage Dylan.
Is he now like because he's now a road warrior, isn't he? Because he used to be a prospect, but now he's gone on the road.
He's changed his mind. He just wants to go and get out there and fight, and he's potentially he might fight Ross McGuigan perhaps, but that'd be
a good fight.
Yeah, he's a good road warrior. He's Dylan, tough.
And Dylan he's fought twice on your show, I think, since he's become a road warrior, and both really good fights in my opinion.
No, he puts up a good fight. He doesn't roll over, so no, he's a good lad, and we're really happy with how he's progressing.
And you've also got Joe Roswell 3-0 against Daryl Tapfuma. We know Daryl.
Joe. You know Daryl's really decent, much better than his record suggests. And Joe's been injured, and it's his comeback. But Joe is supremely talented. He's really good. So if he stays fit and no injuries, I expect Joe to move really fast now and be winning titles in 25 probably.
He's a good fighter, Joe is as well.
Very good, but way above average.
And you've got Danny Boyle against Harley Collinson. That's 50-50. And do you think it's the right time for Danny to? He's only had 2 fights, and he's 50-50.
I don't think it's 50-50. I wouldn't have made the fight. And on paper it's 50-50, but I think Danny's exceptional. I think Danny is really talented, and I think he's way above average. And I think he'll handle the fight well.
Yeah, I reckon he'll stop him, but that's another story.
Danny's a good fighter, really good fighter.
He is. And you've got Valentine as well.
Yeah, he's managed by Mickey Amu, who managed Richard Comey to a world title. He's one of his prospects. He's 1-0. So I don't really know that much about him because he's not my fighter, but he's having this. We'll know more about him after the 30th.
And of course, I forgot his name. Coming off the show now because what's next for Mike? What about Mikey Saki? Like, what's next for him?
He was. We were looking at various options for him. We had lots of opportunities for him, but he didn't really want to take them. So at the moment, he's sort of sitting out, and we'll see what he wants to do. So he's just sort of considering his options at the moment.
Oh, okay. What about Michael Murphy? He's now 1-1.
Yeah, he's took some time out, so he just had a bit of time away from boxing. So we'll see when he comes back. But yeah, he's just took some time out.
What about Courtney Frimpong?
Well, he's out. He's going to be boxing in one of those dates in September. We just haven't. It'd probably be on the 9th, I think.
Oh, okay. Joshua Gustav, of course, he brings the crowd with him, doesn't he? You've got loads of good ticket sellers, and I think he fought on Sky last time.
He fought on the Sky show. He's now going to be out again in November. He's got a few things to deal with outside the ring, and he'll be back boxing in November.
And Ellis Stewart?
He's out now on the 9th. He's been added to the 9th card.
Harry Webb?
He's fighting on the 30th of September on a Nielsen show.
I think that's against Casey, is it?
Yeah. So are you impressed about what a good memory I've got of all these fighters? Not bad, is it? Yeah,
because I throw a name at you and you just know. I mean, and the amount of people you manage is crazy.
Yeah, I know. So no, I know every single one. I remember everything.
It's good, mate. What about Obi?
Obi's mandated now for the English title against
Cutler.
Cutler, so that's going out to purse bids. We'll see how that goes in the next couple of weeks.
That should be a good fight, that one.
Exactly. Obi can win that. It's winnable. It's well winnable.
And Ryan Copeland?
He injured himself at work, so he's having some time out. Whether he comes back or not, I'm not sure. But
last time I spoke to him, he said he chopped his finger off or something.
Exactly. So he's out of the ring at the moment. We'll see how that goes. I mean, he's 36, 37 now. So, it may be that I'm not sure whether he's going to come back or not, but if he does, he'll have to be back November time.
Yeah. What about Lewis Everson?
He's down in Plymouth. He's taking some time out. His business is building. So he just wants to have a little bit of time out from boxing while he's building up his business at the moment.
Pat Gill?
Pat Gill's out on the 9th September.
It's just on BoxRec. It doesn't say.
No, we don't. They're not all updated BoxRec. So, and again, a lot of things are evolving and changing all the time. So, the BoxRec is not always 100% up to speed.
You've got what about Peter Merger? When's he?
Well, I'm looking for a fight for him. He's having a warm up, an interim fight on the 30th, and then he's going to have a title fight in November, December. Probably the 9th of December he'll be next out in a big fight.
So has he vacated that area?
No, he still holds it.
Because he fought Ryan, and that was, you've had Ryan v Peter on your show twice, and both amazing fights, aren't they?
He won that, and I think we'll look to defend it probably.
Against the winner of Joke's fight.
No, probably not. I don't think the board will sanction that because I think they're going to give us a mandatory. I think, but we've got to decide. It depends on which way the board go. We've got 2 potential mandatories. There's that potential winner of that could work. So one of the 3 options.
Jerome Campbell.
He's out till November. But he wants to fight for a title at super featherweight. But there's a lot of contenders in that division. Including Mikey Weber-Kane and a couple of others. So it's a tough little division.
Do you manage Mikey?
No. He's managed by Graham Everett. He's been on our show a couple of times, but no, I don't manage him.
Oh. But is there... So, of course, you've got these 3 September shows booked in. And how many more shows after these ones have you got booked in?
3. We got the last Saturday in November and the first 2 Saturdays in December.
So you've got 6 more shows this year.
We're busy.
Good luck with them all, and keep smashing it, mate. And thank you for your time.
And thanks a lot, Sam, for interviewing us. It's been great.
Anytime, Steve, and thank you for your time, mate.
Pleasure, mate. Bye.